USAC Indoor Series at Fort Wayne, Columbus, etc. And we were doing 6-second laps indoors.
Yep.
And they ran a 50-lap main event, and they said, well, don't worry about it. There'll be a caution in the first 5 laps. We were at lap 40, and there had not been a green flag. My arms had fallen asleep. I grabbed my radio and threw it out on the racetrack to get a caution.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Yeah. Yep.
Or in the past tense, I was.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, yeah, we've got 2 great races. As we said, the Nema Lite's going to go 50 laps, and the Nema Midgets going 29 in the Boston Louie Memorial. When we talk about the lights that are going to be coming out here, guys to watch, got to mention P.J. Stergios. He's won 4 times since the lights became part of this event in 2008. He won 3 in a row in 2013, 14, and 15. He'll be out there in the number 88, again, one of the Seymour Performance Products entries. And Jake Trainor, who we've talked about so many times, a 2-time winner in 2021 and 23, and a runner-up in 2019. He was looking good in his qualifying heat tonight, too.
Well, and I also think that one of the things that it's been a while, I can't even remember historically if it has ever occurred, where a driver, and we have a couple of people, Cabral and Scally come to mind, that have the double duty opportunity, break out the broom. You know, Scally has been fast. You know, ditto for Cabral, in both divisions. Might we see an historic sweep?
Well, Randy Cabral has done that elsewhere, won both ends.
But not the Boston
Nema
Louie.
race, but not the Boston
Yeah.
Louie race. No, that has not been achieved, but history could be made tonight.
See, we need Pete here for history.
Well, this is his job. We're
I
the
know.
interlopers.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right, I forgot.
Well, it's pages of notes,
Yeah,
gentlemen. That's what it is. Believe me, it's not off the top of my head. Not
So
at my
let me
age.
tell you the quick story about Scally. I know you know this. Paul has decided that he wants to follow in our footsteps, and he has a radio show.
I've been on it.
Yep, and I have too. And I tried to tell him that he shouldn't quit his night job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's working on his retirement package. That's what it's all about.
Well, you mentioned Scally as a candidate for a possible double. He is one driver who has won in both the Nema Midgets and the
That's
Nema
right.
Lites already this season. So he's done it in 2024.
And remember, as I told you guys, in the lights, he said, my car is balanced. It goes on the high side. It goes on the low side. He says, I'll sacrifice a little bit of speed. And he said, if I just use my head and not burn the tires off in the first half of the race, he says, I think I'm going to be there.
Here's the starting lineup for the 50-lap Nema Lite feature. They redrew for starting positions. The top 4 from each heat got the redraw. That's how they came up with this lineup that puts the number 1 of Chase Locke on the pole in the number 1, alongside Todd Bertrand, another threat to win this thing, in the number 48. Chris Vos will start inside second row, and P.J. Stergios, the multi-time winner, starts outside of the second row. Ben Mkhitaryan, the 2-time winner, in fact, the last 2 Nema Lite events, and son of the great Boston Louie, grandson of the great Boston Louie Seymour. Ben Mkhitaryan starts inside third row, and the aforementioned Paul Scally starts outside of row 3. 17 of Kyle Valeri starts next, and the number 8 of Ethan Dion will start alongside of him. Inside of the 5th row will be Sammy Swindell from Memphis, Tennessee, in the number 4, the white number 4, and alongside of him will be his team car, the other number 4, driven by Jake Trainor from Medway, Mass. 53, Dylan Kutu starts next, alongside the 47 of Randy Cabral. Then the 94 of Tiana Kibbe from Allentown, Pennsylvania, starts next to the 59 of Braden Egan from Ashford, Connecticut. The 29, Kenny Schrader, mired way in the back. We'll watch for him to cut his way through the field in that white number 29. And alongside of him, the red number 9. That's Ryan McCartney from Pawling, New York, in the red number 9. The number 2, Joey Bailey from Monroe Township, New Jersey, in the Nick Poe, Matt Seymour prepared, Boyd Speed Shop sponsored number 2. Alongside will be the number 44. That is Trent Goudreau from Carver, Mass, in the Big Dog Disposal, Keller Motorsports, number 44. 35 tonight. That is being driven by DJ Moniz from Fairhaven, Massachusetts. Moniz in the 35, starting alongside the number 28 of Mike Perniciglio from Ronkonkoma, New York, in the Derek Perniciglio Show, sponsored number 28. The 99, Kyle Ferrucci from Woodbury, Connecticut, and alongside of him, the number 88, the second number 88, that is Tyson Adamick from Salem, Connecticut. That is your starting lineup for the 50-lap Nema Lite Boston Louie Memorial main event. And we talked about a couple of those guys starting way in the back. For instance, Ken Schrader, mired way towards the back in that number 29. He's got some real estate to cover. And Randy Cabral is halfway back in the lineup. Watch for him to move fast at the drop of the green.
And yet those guys that are starting up front, like Chase Locke and Todd Bertrand, they know those guys are back there and they're going to be coming. They're going to be looking to gap as much as they can on this field without burning it down in the opening laps.
If you're Locke and your battle plan in the first 15 laps, conserve, but don't give up the lead.
Go. Yeah, clean air is king. So field forming up now, scrubbing the tires. They were given instructions in the drivers' meeting earlier about time to scrub the tires and then when this double-up signal will be given to knock all that off and get ready for a moment we all enjoy. And then, of course, the green flag shortly to follow. So here comes the double-up. Todd Bertrand on the front row in that 48. He didn't even enter this race until 9 o'clock this morning. He made the decision to come. Been too busy with his 6-year-old son Tucker's quarter midget racing, but he decided to come here for the Boston Louie because it's the Boston Louie, and he's on the outside of the front row looking for a win.
And he wants to show some stuff with that car. That car is actually for sale.
Yep.
And if he were able to pick up a win, I think that drives the price up a little bit.
It would enhance things.
Here comes the 4-wide parade lap. This is a salute to you, the Nema Lights. Let's give them a wave to send them off tonight for the Boston Louie Memorial here at the Seekonk Speedway.
So who do you like? If I put your feet to the heat, who are you picking?
Well, I got to look at those cars that are up front. The multi-time winner, P.J. Stergios, in the second row, and the number 88. And those two guys in the front row are pretty good. Then the two-time winner this season remains undefeated in the last couple of races, including the last one here at Seekonk a couple of weeks ago. Starts inside of the third row. Ben Mkhitaryan in that number 9. He was fast in practice, very fast in his heat, and he's starting at a good spot too, starting from the 5th position.
You love it when you've got a field that's competitive enough that picking a winner is hard. And picking a winner of this one is not just hard, it might be impossible. But those are certainly some great nominations as they get the 1 to go signal one more time before the green flag.
This is when the strategy starts to play out in their mind. What are the early moves going to be? What's that guy in front of me going to do? Which way am I going to have to go when the green comes down?
And mid-pack on back. Where's the hole? Where's the hole to get ahead?
Green flag. Nema Lights are underway, and Chase Locke, like shot out of a cannon, leaps to the lead in the number 1. Bertrand to second. And right to third, P.J. Stergios in the 88.
And then it's a gaggle of cars as Scally and Mkhitaryan do battle there side by side. Scally on the inside trying to get around. They're all now running full song.
Got Christopher Vos in that black and green number 3 kind of pinned in the outside lane, so everybody trying to find a way under him as they work their way forward. Kyle Valeri will be the next one there to challenge in line.
Chase Locke right where he wants to be, out in front, and maintains about a 6-car length lead over Todd Bertrand. Bertrand's got P.J. Stergios trying to reel him in. Mkhitaryan is broken out to the 4th spot, and on the move is Jake Trainor in that black and white number 4. He's starting to work over Paul Scally for 5th.
Also on the move is that orange number 47 as he had to come from the back. Randy Cabral caught up in a battle there in turn number 2. It looks like he's getting good bite, good drive off the corners as he continues to acquire spots.
So that'll put Cabral up into the 9th position now, one of the ones to watch in that neon, almost Richie Evans orange, number 47 on the back straightaway. So 9th spot for Cabral.
Chase Locke maintains that lead in the number 1, and believe it or not, he'll be encountering some back markers here in just a couple of laps and start to put some of the field down a lap.
Outside in turn number 2, here's Jake Trainor in the black number 4, trying to pick up a spot on Paul Scally. That's going to be 5th place at hand here off of turn 4.
Yeah, Scally makes a move on Ben Mkhitaryan, gets down underneath, and takes over that 4th spot in the number 30. Mkhitaryan holds on to 5th at the moment, but he's got Jake Trainor right behind him in the number 4.
Here is the race leader now into lap traffic. Can Bertrand find a way to stay with Locke as they work the tail end of the field?
Yeah, now Chase Locke trying to get around the outside of Kyle Ferrucci, and he does. Puts Ferrucci and DJ Moniz down a lap. He's got a little bit of defense there by putting some lap cars between himself and Todd Bertrand.
But Bertrand going through, it's kind of fun to watch. They may give the leader a hard time, but once they go a lap down, and look at darting to the inside is Bertrand, and now he's just got one car between himself and the leader, but about a 2-second disadvantage.
So watching the race for 3rd and 4th, also a couple of car lengths off of turn number 4 and closing as Scally tries to close in on Stergios. Stergios in the white number 88 back straightaway clears the traffic, and Scally right behind him in that orange topped number 30.
Yeah, Scally trying to close in. They are about 10 car lengths back of Todd Bertrand, who runs in the 2nd spot. Meanwhile, Chase Locke picking them off, all the back markers, putting a bunch of cars down a lap.
And he's putting fast cars down a lap. Right in front of him is a legend in the Hall of Fame for sprint car racing, slamming Sammy Swindell. And also the Ferrucci car next up for Chase Locke is to put Sammy Swindell a lap down.
First car to drop out of the race, Christopher Vos pulls that number 3 to the infield. The New York driver, remember, started up toward the front, was struggling in the opening laps, and something's gone wrong to end his night in the infield early.
He's called it quits here on lap 18, so he drops out. Meanwhile, the leader works off of turn 4 and across the stripe to complete 19 laps. It's Chase Locke. He has put Sammy Swindell down a lap, as well as Braden Egan, and now Todd Bertrand will go to work on those lap cars.
Work their way into turn number 1 now. The leader up off of 2, about to come up to the back of Ken Schrader and challenge to put Schrader a lap down there.
Schrader takes the inside line, no problem for Locke. I thought he was going to do the crossover. Now he gets the drive off the corner. Can he put the nose to the inside of Schrader? He does, but they touch wheels.
Yeah, Chase Locke using that car up a little bit to get around his teammate, Ken Schrader, but Schrader reluctantly goes a lap down, and Locke now with some clean racetrack in front of him can try to put a little more distance between himself and Todd Bertrand.
Alan, I think that Chase Locke is utilizing your game plan. Gap,
Go,
gap, gap.
Yes, he's got pretty solid lead over Bertrand at the moment, and they're 1 lap away from halfway. So what does that say? There's still a lot of racing left to go, and we haven't seen a caution flag yet.
Yeah, the normal length of a Nema Lite feature right now as they get the cross flags, and halfway through the 50-lap Boston Louie Memorial race, it remains Chase Locke out in front by about a half a straightaway over the 48 of Todd Bertrand in 2nd. 3rd is Paul Scally, who's working his way through some of the lap traffic here. Scally's got plenty of competition. PJ Stergios in the 88, Jake Trainor in the 4, Mkhitaryan in the 9. That's all a battle for the 3rd place.
Look at Trainor. Trainor kind of stick the nose to the inside. This is a wild one, but now let's start to watch and pay close attention, specifically in the drive off the corners. How stable are these cars? Because these Dr. Feelgoods are not feeling real good right now.
Well, and as they were dicing their way through that lap traffic, PJ Stergios broke out to get into the 3rd spot in the number 88, and Jake Trainor's gone to 4th in the number 4.
So that kicks Paul Scally in the 30 back to 5th position, still struggling there to get through some of the lap traffic. So have these drivers waited too long to be able to clear some of the traffic? Will they get a caution to give them a shot to regroup as Chase Locke continues to hold a very solid lead?
And none of them have a radio to throw out onto the track.
That's right. Another car out of competition, the 28 of Michael Perniciglio. He takes it to the infield. Now 3 cars out of the competition. Meanwhile, the leader into some heavy lap traffic right now, and Todd Bertrand has taken advantage of that. He has closed the gap
Bertrand trying to close in from second spot. The white number 1 is the race leader off turn 4. The 48, white body, black side panels, black wing is the second place car. They work turn number 2 now as the leader Locke tries to clear this latest knot of traffic.
We're watching P.J. Stergios, who runs in third. He is better than a straightaway back of Todd Bertrand. So he has got some real estate to cover if he's going to get up there and battle with those front two. But here's Locke now clearing the 8 of Ethan Dion, and he's got some good clean track in front of him now.
And clean air and an opportunity to not abuse his tires.
Might have been the closest call he had was his first attempt to get underneath Dion off turn number 2, because Dion didn't see him trying the bottom side, and Locke had to check up for just a second before the lap car realized the leader was there.
A 1.7 second lead for the youngster Chase Locke over Todd Bertrand. Bertrand trying to negotiate his way through some of the traffic to try and at least begin to see the leader Locke. Locke has just locked it up thus far.
Great battle for the third spot. P.J. Stergios in the 88 and the 4 of Jake Trainor. They're trying to get around the lap car of Sammy Swindell. Stergios slips up the racetrack in 1 and 2. That opens the bottom for the number 4 of Trainor. Trainor passes him and goes to third.
And now goes to work on the team car that is a lap down. So Trainor there in the black winged number 4, now your third place runner, and needs a caution if he's going to have a shot at these front two, as we're already at 10 laps to go.
Yeah, they have clicked off the laps, and you're right, only 10 to go. Amazing as Chase Locke continues to pour it on down the backstretch. He's now better than a straightaway over Todd Bertrand, and will put Kyle Ferrucci down another lap as he works the first and second turn.
Back straightaway now for the race leader. The fight for third has settled down just a little bit as they've cleared some of the lap traffic. So that number 1 across the start-finish line into turn number 1 with a long gap and 7 to go.
He has got some pretty clean racetrack in front of him now as continues to click off the laps. Todd Bertrand can only watch him drive away as now the 35 of DJ Moniz is off the pace and slow in the first and second turn. We've got 5 laps to go for the leader.
Moniz will get that car safely to the infield, will stay under the green flag, and all eyes now on car number 1, Chase Locke, the race leader, as he continues to run out these final few laps and score a huge win. He's in turn 3 and back in lap traffic again.
Yeah, down the backstretch goes Jake Trainor in third as he's working his way again through some of that lap traffic. Trainor is third, P.J. Stergios is fourth, and Paul Scally rounds out the top 5 in the number 30.
2 laps to go is the signal as Chase Locke looks to wire this field. He's down the backstretch into turn number 3, the white number 1. Here he comes across the start-finish line.
Well, he was just given 2 to go again. The starter may have lost his leader. There he goes. Now he's giving him the white flag. According to the lap counter, we're going to be in overtime. But nonetheless, Chase Locke has such a lead, he could pretty much coast home from here.
Here he is, checkered flag, and a prestigious win, the Boston Louie Memorial for Chase Locke from Chester, New Hampshire. He wins tonight at Seekonk.
Chase Locke goes flag to flag to win the Boston Louie. Todd Bertrand finishes in the second spot. Jake Trainor third in the number 4. P.J. Stergios fourth in the 88. And Paul Scally finishes 5th in the number 30.
Matt Seymour prepared midget, and he is the winner of the Nema Lights.
Good job, Chase. See? Good job.
Needs a little assistance. This is the only part he needed, is help getting the helmet off. He can hear you now, ladies and gentlemen. How about putting your hands together one more time? Chase Locke, your winner tonight. Domination with a total D. Did you realize just how you decimated the field?
Oh my God. Jay Scott put a setup in this thing and it was off the rails all night. Struggled in the first practice, but oh my God. It was so much better heat race in the race. I just felt like I was going balls out of the walls, you know. So just want to thank Katron, Seymour's, Carolina Dock Stairs, BMRS, Brown and Miller, High Performance Lubricants, and SPP for everything they do and getting me out here and getting this win tonight.
You savoring this one, aren't you?
Oh yeah, I wanted that wheel bad.
That's the trophy that'll be awarded. Let's hear it one more time for the winner of the Nema Lights. 50 grueling laps non-stop. And that is Chase Locke. We'll go down and visit with second place. I understand, as we were talking about it, where's Todd? So I understand, Mr. Bertrand, that you made the decision to compete in this race at 9 a.m. this morning.
Yes.
Nothing like delaying it to the last minute.
Yeah, I mean, I actually put the car up for sale earlier this week, and it's a decision that I've been considering for a long time. Not because I want to get out of the sport, because my 6-year-old son behind me, Tucker Bertrand's now the priority, and quarter midgets multiply like rabbits. So my daughter is also showing some interest in the sport, and I can't let this, let my side of the racing, cut into maintenance on their cars and stuff. But my wife was washing the truck and trailer in the rain today. She said that's the best time to wash the truck and trailer, and I was like, well, I should start working on the car then, because there's a rain delay and we have until 4 o'clock to make it. So just really thankful to put it in second place. We were average in practice, so I made 4 springs change before the heat race.
So it was a kitchen sink opportunity.
Yeah, pretty much threw everything at the car except for changing the steering wheel. So for us to be on the podium tonight is a great accomplishment for us, and I'm really going to miss this car. It's given me a lot of really good runs, and I really love Seekonk, and I appreciate them having us here. I've had a lot of great memories, and I'm sure it won't be my last time. So we'll have other opportunities that'll come up in the future, but I'm just going to step out of the car ownership side of it.
All right, well, good luck to you. How about a round of applause? He finished second today after only washing the truck and deciding about 6 hours ago that he was going to come race. Meanwhile, third place, time ran out, Jake.
Yeah, finally got it wound up at the end there. Just tough starting 10th, having to cut through the field like that, no yellows. But, it's an awesome race, and it's so cool to be able to run for Matt and Bob, and Matt's grandfather's race. It's really cool.
Let's talk a little bit, because the dynamic, it's more laps than you guys are used to running. But then to go from the drop of the green to the drop of the checkered with no cautions kind of messes with you when you're starting in 10th.
Yeah, it just, everybody gets strung out, and it's tough to make up a lot of ground. I felt like I did the best I could, and I'm just really happy to see Chase win it. It's he deserves it, he earned it, and it's just really cool for him. I can't thank Katron and all the other guys that help us out, Katron and everybody.
Well, that's it. Your podium, ladies and gentlemen, for the 50-lap Nema Lights main event, part of the Boston Louie Memorial.